I want people to know I'm dependable for what I'm doing. When I say I will deliver this to you, you know you will have that delivered.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else kills it at the level that he kills it on socials and has a full-time job.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's exactly what I want to do. What's up, legends? Welcome back to the Demo Cast. My name's Jack. I'm here with my co-host Alex. What's going on, man?
And just keeping it alive. What about you, bud?
Not a lot. We went go-karting with the crew from work today. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I left with a rather large trophy. I'm not going to disclose which place it is for, but it is quite large.
That's like 10 inches, yeah?
Yeah, it's huge. That's a big trophy.
Did you have to pay your dad extra to play blocker for you, or?
I still couldn't win, even with dad blocking for me.
That's so good. No, that's good, man. I didn't realise that they just handed them out to any place. But that's good, man. Well done. Proud of you.
Participation trophy, that one.
Mate, wanted to bring us back a little bit to episode 3. Ooh, that was hard to remember.
Yeah, this is episode 4.
We're
losing count already.
Yeah. And on that, we spoke a bit about how surrounding yourself with the right people and how that's important, and trying not to put yourself in a room where you are the only person of note, essentially.
Yeah, you don't want to be the biggest fish in the pond.
Bad pond. And so on that, I've had a little bit of feedback from the listeners and so on from that. So I wanted to see if we can try and explore. I nearly said explode. Maybe both.
Don't explode.
Yeah.
You'll make a mess.
To dive into that a bit today. So off the bat, give us one. We'll just fire it back and forth.
Yeah. All right.
Give us a hit as if you've not pre-rehearsed it.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Yeah. I guess the first person, which is someone like, quite involved in my life, which is Statsy. For those of you who don't know, is my boss at Rivalink.
Yep. Good man. His name's Alex, right?
Yeah, he's also Alex.
Fucking good, man.
Yeah, no. I know too many Alexes.
Too many.
Too many. But yeah, he's kind of someone that I guess I've looked up to quite a bit, and has been quite a mentor to me as well, kind of with my development. I guess moving through Rival, like starting as a designer, and kind of moving up through the ranks. And now, yeah, kind of helping him steer the ship a little bit. But
yeah.
He's definitely someone that's taught me quite a lot about just leadership in general, and kind of helps me a lot with leading the crew and how to, I guess, how to like lead people in like a positive way. He's very much the type of person that wants to lead people in a positive way, and it's not about brute force and like just wringing people dry. It's about like, how do you encourage people, and how do you get the best version of like other people for themselves, but also like obviously if you have a company full of people that are the best version of yourself, it's going to be productive for your company as well. Which I've always thought has been really good. He has this thing that he always says, like, because I can be quite like abrupt with my as we've mentioned in previous episodes of me just telling people to get fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I tend to go straight to like kind of just like a brutal facts of like this is the thing. Where yeah, he has this concept that he calls green braining. And it's always about like, how do you, instead of telling someone that they're doing it wrong, for example, instead of being like, you're doing that fucking wrong, like stop, you need to be doing like this. How do you kind of like encourage them in a way that moves them in the direction that you want, but they're happy to do it. They're not resentful. So I guess, so you have like green braining and red braining, I guess. So I guess an example of red braining would be, the like stereotypical boss, I guess, that's like on your ass, just like, you fucking do what I say, or like, you won't have a job kind of thing. And like, you just end up with a bunch of employees that are resentful and don't want to like look after your company, I feel like.
Yeah, resistant.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, oh, I fucking got to do this shit, otherwise old mate's like on my case. Where if you feel like if you look after your staff and you look after your crew, like they will look after your company. So that's been something that's kind of been quite helpful for me. I guess this kind of touches on something that like Dad taught me a little bit as well when like we first started doing businesses and stuff. He and and this is like a strategy that he got from like being a police officer and like just sending emails to like other crew or whatever. He's always like, you got to like give him the shit sandwich when you send an email. So you tell them something good in the beginning of the email, and then you tell them something shit, and then you tell them something good again at the end of the email. So you're still getting the shit part in that you need to like get across to whoever you're emailing, or like whatever the like however you're communicating to that person. But like, yeah, you always do a shit sandwich.
Just lube the context with good either side.
Yeah. So yeah, those things kind of tie in a little bit together. But yeah, Statsi's also introduced me to like a lot of other people and a lot of other things that have been quite influential in my life. So he introduced me to Andy Frisella, who's the guy who created 75 Hard. I only know about 75 Hard because Statsy did it, and then I've done it earlier in the year and was fucking great. It was probably like one of the better things I've done for myself in a good minute anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just kind of overall like has been quite a good mentor to me, and taught me a lot and shown me a lot in the last couple of years being at Rival.
Do you find that it generally starts with a positive mentor or role inside of work, and then the more you like start to adapt that and understand that they are influencing you in a positive way, it starts to influence outside as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I say this because my first, if you're happy to,
for sure.
My first role that always comes to mind is a former manager of mine as well, a gentleman named Sam Goldie, who I believe you've met.
Yeah. I think I met him at your birthday.
Absolutely, and he's, to be fair, in that sense, he's a menace. He is a beautiful man though. But my relation to Goldie was he was my manager, and he was quiet in his approach to things as well. So it was easy to sort of overlook his position. But how he handled his position was calm, precise, and nothing but facts. Like if there was ever an issue, and trust me, I brought heaps of them across to him as well, of just dumb things. He was a senior mind working with a bunch of young new people into a workforce as well. So, and not once did he ever the words are gone today.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did he ever swear. I've never seen him swear at someone. I've never seen him yell at someone and like raise his voice towards. It was always a calm conversation like this with nothing. There it is again. Nothing but clear, precise facts that come through with it, right? And to me, as someone that had only ever seen management that was the red brain in it, and then it was just harsh and stuff, I was like, that is the type of person I want to be as a manager. I want not only to be accurate in what I'm saying, because I feel like it discredits you. If you're a manager and you're trying to manage someone and your information isn't undeniable.
Yeah, or even if you know what your information is, but you're stumbling around and panicking and doing weird shit, like that's something that I admire a lot, and that I kind of work on for myself quite a lot in my position now, is like actually I admire someone that can stay calm in those situations and just work through it, and like that's admirable to me for sure.
I've seen Goldie stay calm arguing with Corey. That's a feat I'm 32 years in and still yet to do, mate. But it was always just calm to the point. And not only did he teach me that you get a much better result with the carrot than the whip in these situations. That undeniable proof is the most like logical answer to an argument point, or any point that's going to have confrontation to it, because it's the easiest way to it's the easiest way to disarm the fight that's about to come on, especially if someone's upset and getting emotional about it. If you can remove those emotions and just present facts to it, amazing. Never swore, never was. I can't stress that enough. In an environment that you wanted to swear at everyone, was the only calm brain in there. But then he also was very good at, there was that and this thing that I really took from it, is that he cared about the employees around him. No one was just a number to Goldie. It was, if you come in and you were having a down day, he was always there to, you okay? Something going on, would take you away for a bit and be like, do you need to talk about anything good? I went through a really bad breakup when I was there because I was a kid. We all went through bad breakups when we were kids, hey.
Yeah.
And he just would come over to my house and be like, let's go get some pizza and stuff. Like, and just
That's
would
mad.
drag me out of a situation that was unpleasant to be in for me. And so, and from that, I seen him as a manager to begin with and was like, I want these manager traits. And then it was his approach to being empathetic towards people around him, to understanding and connecting rather than just connecting because you're paid to. Was definitely something that I took and still to this day take for him. Still absolute amazing human. Love him to bits. He's solid in that sense.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess that's almost very similar to, I guess like Stats's like red brain, green brain thing.
Yeah.
You get to use your words, you get a much better result from the carrot than the whip, for sure.
He was very good at it.
Yeah, and that's I guess something that I've kind of learned, even dealing with unhappy customers and stuff. Like because I guess we kind of deal with customers quite a bit, and with a very customizable product as well. Like things, there's so many points where things can go wrong, and we have very few things go wrong. But just with customizable products, like there's inevitably some percentage of things that'll go wrong, and kind of handling those customers in a way. Because I think your natural instinct is to kind of like try and fight back and defend the product, or you know what I mean, like, so yeah, trying to be able to handle those situations as well, where like kind of trying to connect with the customer on a human level as well, because really we're still a relatively small crew. We're not Amazon, where
is that Bezos?
Yeah,
what a lad.
What a guy. Well, I think people get so conditioned to deal with these really big companies that it like kind of takes the human connection out of it a little bit, and it's just kind of the customer almost comes into it expecting us to just be like, computer says no, go away. So yeah, trying to like connect with the customer if they do have a problem, be like, look, we're here to help. Like, you know, we need this extra info, or like whatever we need to like be able to resolve the problem. But yeah, being able to connect with the customer on a really like human level and try and green brain that situation as much as possible, so that we get, you know, even if it's in the situation where, you know, there isn't actually anything wrong with the product that we've sent out, but the customer just needs some extra information on like, you know, how the product works, or, you know, how to properly install it, or any of those kind of things. You can handle that in a way that the customer doesn't leave that interaction with like a sour taste in their mouth, because of course you want customers to return. So yeah, I guess like being able to handle that calmly is like it's very
absolutely. I
don't think it's the default though. That's not your default reaction as a human.
Negative.
Especially when, and this is something that you will learn as we begin to like launch Sleeper and we start dealing with customers.
I am a fucking calm saint.
It is difficult, especially when it is your business or your product.
It's personal.
It is personal. It's very personal. When someone comes back and goes, we'll use Sleeper as an example. Someone comes back and goes, what the fuck is wrong with these shirts? It doesn't fucking fit. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And you just want to go, fuck you. Like, these are my fucking shirts.
Get a better body shape.
Yeah. It's hard. Like, and just as a human, you go into defense mode real quick, and because you have a very emotional connection to it when it's your thing as well. So being able to handle that, like, with a cool head, I guess, and be able to resolve that in a way where the customer doesn't leave going, well, they're just fuckheads. Like, they just argued back, basically. Yep. I think it's something that's super productive.
Definitely a skill to be learnt.
Yeah. It's definitely not the default reaction that your brain has. Whether you do it intentionally or not, just your immediate response is to fight back, I guess. Especially when it's your own product.
Absolutely. Slightly sidetracked, but on that is that through like my project management classes that I did, and a little bit that I did with a previous company as well, it's very much in that, like, taught of just cut it there. Like, if they're not a large contract, then you just meh, who fuck cares? I guess in that sense, it's not the likeliness of a return customer in that base is very like pushed out. Where like Rival, for instance, returns everything. Not everything, but like you want to return.
100%.
It would be a large in there. Like how often would you? This is a metric I'm sure you would be able to tell me. How often would someone that's racing get a new graphics kit?
It depends a little bit. Typically, the better the rider, the more rough they are on graphics.
Fair.
So like, and also the better the rider, usually the like more they want to present themselves well for their sponsors, like sponsors and stuff as well. So it depends. I guess your average rider might go through 2 kits a year. They might do like a refresh halfway through the year.
Yeah. Okay.
So like you're getting, if you create a loyal customer, you're potentially getting 2 or 3 sales a year out of them instead of 1, and then they contact you with an issue and then you piss them off and then they're gone forever.
Yeah.
So, it is something. We have customers that like, I see that like customers that I don't know personally, but I know their names because I see them pop up in the order list all the time. Like we have customers that return almost weekly, like at an alarming rate. Like it's.
And if you guys were known as dickheads, like if this wasn't like something that Stats was trying to bring out into the workforce and like get his like customer facing staff to really hone in on, man, there's no way that there would be that even new customers come through, mate. When that retro kit come out for the Yemi, fuck, man, I couldn't tell. I thought I was just seeing the same bike 100 times at Gap, man. But it was, and you see like the Rival stickers on it, like the Rival like names on it, man. Like if you were handling it in a lesser way, I mean, the proof would be in your sales, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that we pride ourselves on like quite a bit, that we kind of do try and have that human connection with, even though we get hundreds of orders a week. Like whenever a customer kind of hits us up with a problem, like we kind of try and not just give like, and obviously you need some stuff in place so that you're not writing emails from scratch every single time, because more often than not, if a customer's having an issue with something or they do need some, like a lot of the time it is, we actually just need to help this customer. Like they just need some more information. Like we just need to teach them something. There's some value that they need for us to provide for them to get the most out of their product.
With some information.
Yeah. And a lot of time that's the case. So we obviously do have like some pre-written stuff just purely for like, so we get the information right that we're passing on to customers. But yeah, we try not to hit people with just like cookie cutter, like just non-responses basically, being like, because how many times have you emailed a like company being like, hey, I'm having a drama with this product, and they're like, you can just see the chat GPT email just like write itself out, and you're like, this doesn't solve any. Did you read the email I sent you?
Have you checked the FAQs on the website? Shut the fuck up, man. Where do you think I went first, you dickhead? Fuck, anyway, that one obviously hits it.
It sounds like it was one of those recently.
It was, man.
But yeah, so I feel like that's something we kind of pride ourselves with on at Rival, that we try not to just hit people with like those cookie cutter emails. Like we try and help people.
Gives it an organic feel.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, is that like, really, we're still only like a small team. Like we want to be kind of personal with people. So,
and like on that, you want to be personal with people. That's definitely something that I learned very strong from Goldie. And like you've been in my work and seen, like I've built friendships with like my engineers inside and outside of work. Like, I mean, you met some at my birthday even. Like that definitely, like whilst we're here to do a thing. Yeah. Outside, it's that clean cut. I'm a different, that doesn't exist anymore. There's none of this like I'm your boss whilst we're out at the pub type thing. Shit does not exist, man. That role doesn't exist outside of those doors type thing. And as someone that was working there in an environment, was also working with my older brother at the same time, and sort of like pushed my want for management as well. Like I wanted to move up because of that, and because then I got to work with Goldie as well, which was an absolute pleasure the whole time. it definitely was something that I had to take on at an early stage. Like because I was probably like 17, 18 in it. So it was definitely like a part of what is the foundation of my management now comes from that 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else you got?
Yeah, cool. Sweet. My next one that I got is Jayhawk, who is just like Instagram YouTuber guy.
Does that name sound familiar?
I talk about him all the time.
I'm so horrible with everything. Yeah. I was impressed I got statsy, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jayhawk. So he's almost the embodiment of what I guess what I want my career / creative life to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So he works for Ghost Energy.
Yep, another dude.
Yeah, so he's their content director.
His camera sits up here, hey.
Yeah,
another dude.
Yeah, real high camera angle in his office.
I know
that's why I got like that real high camera angle in my office, straight from Jayhawk.
Yeah.
Love that dude. So yeah, he's a content director at Ghost Energy, but outside of that, so works like full time, 40-hour plus week. Also has like 100,000 followers on Instagram, has like 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like absolutely kills the content game at a level that I don't know if anyone else kills it at the level that he kills it on socials, and has a full-time job.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Which is exactly what I want to do. Like I love doing all my content stuff out of work. I love doing this. Like this is all stuff that, you know, we do outside of work hours. Pardon me. But I'm not in a position at the moment where I want to leave my day job for this stuff. And even though, you know, I do make some money making content for some other brands and, you know, there's bits and pieces going on, I quite enjoy the fact that I can do video work for people and I can send off an invoice. And obviously, like, I want them to pay the invoice, but I'm not stressing about it, you know what I mean? Because especially dealing with bigger companies, you can be waiting months to get...
Exactly what I chuckled as soon as you said that.
Yeah. Well, and basically, like, the bigger the company, the bigger the beast, the slower they move. Mm-hmm. So those companies come with bigger budgets, but they also come with longer wait times for invoices. That's just the nature of the beast. So I really enjoy that I'm in a position where I can do a job for whatever company and I can send off the invoice and I'm not stressed about it. Like, I'm not waiting on this money to pay bills. I'm not like, I would probably do the work for free, to be honest, because I fucking love it.
Edit that out.
But, yeah, I feel like that I can provide enough value with that service that I'm providing that, you know, it's worth money to companies. And that's kind of something that I really strive for and I really like pride myself on. And we touched on that in the last episode with, I had an experience where I didn't provide the value for the company that I was doing a job for. And that was a learning experience for me for sure. But I try to be...
Holy shit.
I had one of those today, actually.
Sorry, they're just so good, man.
Fuck, you threw me
I'm
so
so
bad.
sorry, man.
I try and be very value forward instead of worrying so much about like, oh, you know, I spent 10 hours on this job, so this is the rate. This is my hourly rate. Or it's like, what value am I providing to this client, and kind of what is that value worth to them? So, but yeah,
watch me screw this down.
Jayhawk.
And that's the foundation that you sort of like the building blocks of how he structures his.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess the main difference that I see between kind of him and myself with the structure of how like everything is kind of set up is that with my content, I make all of the money that I'm making off content currently is basically got nothing to do with like, it's faceless for me. Like, it doesn't have my face on any of it. It's me filming athletes for other brands and then like selling that content on. Where the money that he's making is from like brand deals, like people are paying him to post their product on his social and stuff, which is something that like I am working on. I don't feel like I'm at that point yet. Obviously have got some brand deals before with like Hyper and Snafu, and like super appreciative that like those guys have been super supportive with product and all that kind of stuff. And I'm pumped that like that's even something that is an option to me. Even just, you know, that trade of like product for content basically is unreal to me.
Because I know that that's an avenue that we want to go down as well. Of like,
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess one of the other things he does quite well. So his content is basically, for the most part, it's like all tech stuff. So he talks about like his camera gear a lot. He talks about a lot of Apple products. He talks about like what laptop he's using and like how he uses his iPad to keep track of like all of his content and all that kind of stuff. So it's all very tech heavy, and I feel like there is a million tech reviewers that exist, but he does super well at kind of putting his personal spin on that. So he is super into sneakers, and so he'll be like doing a tech review or whatever, and he'll have like the latest fucking Jordans that he's bought sitting on his desk, and then that's enough for the next person who might come scrolling along and come across his content, and they go, well, I'm interested in this camera gear that he's talking about, but there's 1,000 other people talking about the camera gear, but I'm also into sneakers, and those are fucking dope, so I'm going to stop and listen to this guy. Which I think is sick. Being able to put your kind of your personal spin on that.
Yeah, and sort of bring an audience together for two metrics that they enjoy to hone in onto the one.
Yeah, and he's also like quite heavily tattooed and into streetwear, and so it kind of has this like overlap of like, you could just be into tattoos and streetwear and sneakers and think that he's a cool guy, or you could be into camera gear and want to listen to what he got to say about the camera gear, or both. I think that his whole streetwear and style is dope. I'm not such a sneakerhead myself, but like I can appreciate it. But I'm also really into camera gear. So, yeah, I guess being able to bring his personality into his content is something that I admire quite a lot, and I try and replicate in my own stuff. Even when it comes to, you know, those videos that I do in my office, just talking to the camera, doing whatever, like, you know, even just having the Supercross on my computer playing in the background, or like my Monster hat sitting on the table, or, you know, being very intentional about the way that I dress and all those kind of things. I feel like I draw a lot of inspiration from him for a lot of my content, even though my content is very different to his. Like mine is mostly action sports kind of related.
But the foundation.
But the kind of foundation is there, and I definitely draw a lot of inspiration from him. The other thing that I really enjoy that he kind of is like a really big advocate for and talks about it a lot on his social, which is something that I want to start doing. And I have started doing a little bit, but on like my personal social is kind of like talking and having my personality kind of be the at the forefront of the content that I'm creating, not just here's me riding a bike, here's me filming a video, here's me doing whatever. Kind of bring my personality to the front of that. But he talks a lot about the sacrifices that you have to make to do what he's done. And I had this conversation with you on the way here. We've both been at work all week. We didn't necessarily want to sit down and film a podcast, and like, you know, there are those sacrifices that you have to make that, like, you know, we could be at a pub right now. Not that either of us really drink, but like there's those sacrifices that you make, you know what I mean? That
we will do this because others won't, so we can be what others can't. Yeah,
exactly. And that's both of us exhausted from work this week.
I have slurred so many times already. This is not going to be enough. I need what's in the veins? Not a catheter.
No, that'd hurt. That'd hurt.
That's going to be hard to come back from.
Just an IV.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I went where I did.
There is a similar
cannula. Right, sweet, cool. Just making sure I was on the path. Yeah, very much so, man. We are both exhausted from this week. Even from today has been an absolute shit fight. But we say it a lot, man. It's the stuff that you push through is what makes you.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I really admire that he's very much, and I think you're seeing social media kind of turn around a little bit now, but for a long time it was kind of like, here's how effortlessly, like, you know, here's how I'm making $100,000 a month in my business with fucking doing no work. And it's like, that doesn't fucking, you're making shit up.
The fact you put out a video saying it is fucking work.
Yeah. So,
can I touch on the personality point that you said?
Yeah, for sure.
I find, for me personally, and it's one of those things that, like, if I find it, other people find it too.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
we're all somewhat built the same, but different idiosyncrasies. Is that I'll like a product, I will like a page and stuff like that, and then I'll see the person's personality and fucking hate it, or like it more and then charge forward from it. I have a bunch of merch here from a YouTube channel that I watch that's just gaming and stuff like that. But I like their personalities and feel this sort of connection with their personality to the point I'm like, well, I want to buy their shit. I want to. I like their marketing because they market it with their personalities, not with the buy our stuff so we can have money. It's one of them. Like, this is sort of a weird spin-off, but they always talk about how they hated getting socks for Christmas when they were kids. Now they're grown-ass men, love socks. And now every year at Christmas, they put out socks. And they're like, these are my socks, these are like, you know, and they'll have their faces on them and stuff like that. Love it, sweet. And then I enjoy that their show of personality is what draws me to them. If you be a goose about it,
for sure.
I feel it's one of those, you have to be PR you still.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. I think that's the quickest way to distinguish yourself from other content creators as well. Because I feel like everyone who's trying to make a serious go at doing anything on social media, everyone is posting flashy shit. Everyone's got nice cameras. Everyone can edit well. Everyone
wants that instant gratification, hey?
That kind of doesn't... It still matters, but I don't think that's not the be-all and end. You can't just post flashy, cool shit anymore and it blow up. And the easiest way to distinguish yourself from everyone else is talk.
Yeah.
Like, because no one, even if someone says the same words that you've said, it'll be you can't replicate the voice. You can't replicate like the body language. You just can't replicate it. So I think that's such a great way to distinguish yourself from other content creators. And it's also fucking terrifying to like start posting videos online of you talking. Hard work. You had a few jarring moments when we uploaded the first couple of like Instagram clips of the podcast and you were like, oh God, that's me talking on my Instagram feed.
One on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just minding my own business and
then your own face pops up.
Report.
Yeah. It's jarring.
Yeah. I still get nervous when we post these.
Yeah.
Arguably get nervous. I've been talking with you fucking every day for what feels like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Still, when we sit down in this and we be honest and open.
Yeah.
With everyone, still makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I still get jittery at the start. I get nervous when we post.
We both get like a little bit locked up until I do the intro, and then we're
starts
on.
to flow.
Yeah. So yeah, he's one that I really look up to in the content world. So I guess Stats is someone that I look up to a lot professionally. Jay, I guess professionally as well, but like in the world of content creation.
You have a good divide of your two different professions.
Yeah.
Though. You are very good at work jack and then work jack. Or if I put it differently, work jack and demo jack.
Yeah.
Two very different.
I always try and this is getting a little bit off topic, but I always try and I never call when I'm doing video work. I never call it work. It's like, oh, I'm going to video today, or I'm going to, I'm going to film with someone, or I've got this shoot to go and do. I never call it work for two reasons. I don't want to train myself into thinking that it's work, but also it doesn't feel like work. It started with us at the skate park and me fucking running around with a camera and forget my SD card every fucking time.
Jack forgot an SD card today.
Yeah, I did also forget an SD card today. We had to drive back to my house and get an SD card. One day. We need an SD card sponsor, so we just have SD cards out
Everywhere,
the wazoo. But yeah, it started so organically, and it started in a way where even when I started the Demolition Crew Instagram account, which is where I post all of my like flashy edited videos. Oh, sorry.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. I started that Instagram account purely because I was like, I felt weird posting videos of other people riding on my personal Instagram. So I was like, I just need another place that I can put these and then invite whoever was riding as a collaborator so that they can have it. And that's how that started. Was just like, I was just at the park filming with people that I was riding with, and just wanted a place for those videos to live. And then that's turned into the business that it's turned into now.
Yep.
And then with like this little podcast branch of that as well, like it all just started from me doing shit that I wanted to do. So I guess it doesn't feel like work, and I don't want to train myself into thinking that it is work.
The word generally holds like a bit of a negative connotation to it. Yeah, it's that I got to go to work. I was working that. We've used it. We were like worked a whole week. We've already spun a negative turn on it.
Yeah.
We're like, if you're out, it's the same exhaustion, but I know what you mean. You don't want to put that negative push on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's real easy to do that, to
100%.
push it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be fair, but like, if you call it work to me, I would tell you to shut up, because it's I've been there. It's chill.
Yeah.
For the most part. It's also fucking stressful as well. But
I don't know if I've had. To be fair, I work in an office. For anyone that's
you got calluses.
I do, but from riding. I don't know if I have worked as hard as I do when I go to mountain bike events.
Did you hear that, Stats? I had that lined up as you were coming out with that. I had it already lined up.
Oh, fuck.
Edit.
But like when we...
I've trekked a mountain with you, bro.
When we were at Threadbow trekking up and down that hill, that shit is hard work.
Yeah.
Holy... And they're long-ass days.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's like 12, 14-hour days before we got out of the room to back to the room.
Yeah, and then I was in a fucking little bunk bed trying to edit videos because I had to get shit. I had stuff I had to deliver. Yeah.
Jesus.
Even though like the kind of time sensitive stuff was just like Instagram stories and stuff, so they didn't have to be super polished, but still like.
But that's like, and you're good at this. I enjoy you for this. They don't have to be, but they will be.
Yeah. There's still definitely even the ones that don't have to be incredibly polished. There's still definitely a standard.
You have a good standard for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless
it's arriving on time. I'll try and bring that up at every chance I can.
But yeah, so Jayhawk, as far as content and kind of the side business that I run being demo, he's definitely big inspiration for that for sure.
Yeah,
100%. What do you kind of got?
I have another professional one, but in a different spin.
Okay. Well, I guess we're trying to get your content life cranking a little bit.
I don't know if I have a lot of content, like
other than me.
Influencers. Oh, you wait. You'll be mentioned in my third one. Don't you worry. I don't know if I have a lot of, because I don't. And I try to think about it. Is there a social media person or persons that I sort of like reach to for something? And there's definitely people I thoroughly enjoy and I like their stuff, but in a much different realm of things.
Yeah, it's not something that you would necessarily try and replicate.
No, not really. Like with my streaming and stuff like that, there's definitely streamers that I like. How they deliver their stuff is great. How they interact is great, and so it's more that it's how people interact publicly that I take inspiration from that.
Yeah.
Them building something is not. I mean, no. I don't. I could push for something, but it would not be organic. I would be making shit up. To be fair. I have a lot of personal ones that bring out, professional ones that bring out different points. Like my second one is I could not, and I challenge anyone in my company to tell you what anyone's title is. But her name is Bella, was HR, potentially still HR.
Yeah, was HR, hey?
But is from top to bottom, runs the company.
Yep.
But runs the company faceless. And this is one of the biggest things that I have taken from Bella, is that she is the most respected person on site, though she's not on site. She's arguably the person, pardon me, that has her knowledge in everything, and she is an incredibly a balanced and knowledgeable businesswoman as well. She is a contractor for us. So she is there, and her work, the same as you on demo, her work is there because of her undeniable proof to succeed and deliver.
And her value.
Absolutely. And Bella is there to provide. She knows her job is to provide the absolute best at any point, regardless of the shitstorm that it is being provided in. She'll go into, and I've given her plenty of shitstorms and was like, Bella, I need this. And you can guarantee it will be there exactly like that with everything you need on it. She is incredibly dependable. And what I love very much is she's not a clout chaser in the slightest. She does so much for all of us. Not once have I heard her be like, fucking, where's my clap? Where's International Bella Day?
Yeah.
There isn't none. But she knows that her stuff is so dialed in. It's the company's projection forward is, and I would comfortably say, very well built on her ability to continue us steering in the right way. Brilliant. And I take a lot of that from her in the sense of, and we've had this recently, of very much managing from the middle.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a shit of who's clapping for or whose idea is put forward. It's as long as we are getting it done and we are moving. We have the objective, how are we getting there? How are we getting there safely? How are we getting there professionally? And how are we going to grow once we're there? It's not just finished there, it's what's next. How can we continue to be better? And she does that. She will continuously scour all our policies, our procedures, our safeties, ISOs, everything, just to make sure that we are all together provided with the best knowledge and foot forward that we need. As someone that wants to be in business, large, small, or anything, to me, that is fucking... I can't even... her value is unmeasurable.
It's undeniable.
Oh, and it is phenomenal. There is from the highest to the lowest person, not that we have a lowest at all really at work, but from top to bottom, every single person would have the most respect for Bella than anyone else on site. And that respect is not given. It is an earn.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is something that I want with my peers. So I want people to respect me. I want people to know that and respect me because I earned it, not because I forced it out of them, not because they have to either. I want people to know I'm dependable for what I'm doing. When I say I will deliver this to you, you know you will have that delivered.
Yeah.
Being able to put your hand up and say, I don't know, but I will get the information and I will come back. A truth teller, someone that is solid in what they are doing, 100% through and through. And she is amazing at that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and Bella's mentioned this before, in her, because Bella's a mature woman, I could not tell you how old she is. She looks great regardless. But she had mentioned previously in her early 20s, she was a shy woman. She didn't strike out. She didn't have this persona that she does now, I guess. And she knew that if she wanted what she wanted in life, she had to put her foot down and earn it very much so.
Yep.
And she fucking has, man.
I love that.
Yeah, and you've heard me mention Bella before. Everyone around me that has heard me talk about work would have heard me mention Bella before.
Yeah. And that's, I quite enjoy, and not that I've met her or had any interaction or anything, but just through what you've said, I love the fact that it kind of touches on, we mentioned it a few episodes ago about and not even that, we don't even know what her role is. We're assuming HR, but
because I know she is a she has a degree in business management as well, or project management. Sorry, probably business management as well, to be fair.
But the concept that we talked about, that it's a manager's job to give praise and take responsibility is that she is uninterested in praise.
Yeah.
She does not give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that she's a bad motherfucker and that she will get the shit done and doesn't need to hear it from a single other person on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that. That is
Same.
so sick.
And she has, again, a lovely woman, but has that attitude to her as well. Like that is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows that she is what she exactly needs to be to get it done.
Yeah.
Fuck your title. This is the proof.
Yeah.
This is the facts. Here is your information. Bam. And that's it. And that's, no one will argue. No one will do it because they can't. This is this undeniable fact. You can't argue with facts and precise information. And it's brilliant. It's definitely like that. That is something I try, though, and I know her through business. It's definitely something that I try and use in my personal life a lot. As we touched on briefly. Yeah. Being known to get a little hot-headed at time and like snap at things. Yeah. Fight with information then. Yeah. Because like this is a fun one that indirectly learnt from Bella, but something I use with my engineers is that we want to argue, right, sweet, we're going to argue that that's a phone, right? But you're going to say it's white, I'm going to say it's black. We currently, without looking at it or without any actual facts of like a color board or anything, we both have words here. Yeah. If I bust out a color palette, sweet, now we have some information that's backing us up and a little bit of facts. If everyone's just fighting word against word, fucking no one wins. Whoever's got the biggest dick or the fucking stupidest title is going to win it, right? Yeah. Big dick, obviously, metaphorically. But you know what I mean? Like it's... Go on, you want to say something? I can see it in your fucking face.
No, I'm not.
We're adults. And so that's all it is. If you were just fighting words against... Especially, and this is this managing from the middle, is that if you're going against someone at a higher level than you, at a higher title, whatever it is, a more senior, and you have information that you believe to be creditable, and they have their opinion, though yours is information, theirs is an opinion. If you don't have facts to back it up, if you
present it as an opinion,
it is word against word. We have the same thing now. Yeah. Unless you bring facts to an argument, it's now just who can yell the loudest.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I think we might have touched on this briefly on the last episode, maybe.
They blend.
Yeah, well, we have so many conversations like this outside of the podcast as well. But I know it's definitely something that we've talked about. That she knows that the information that she is bringing is valuable, is correct, is what it is, and there is zero imposter syndrome surrounding that. This is something that we talked about the other day about like, I think we did. When we were talking about the concept of earning it in last episode, we were talking about this. But yeah, just the fact of like, if you know that you have got all the pieces to the puzzle, you will not be nervous about it. Like and that just sounds like her to a T. That she's like, this is the shit. Yeah, this is how it fucking operates. Yeah. And there's no like arguing, you know what I mean?
And
it's
no one will.
Yeah.
Because that's it, because
she's also earned that respect that everyone knows if Bella's said some shit, it's right.
Yeah. And if it's not, the first person to tell you it's not right is Bella. Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. And yeah, love that she will not give you an answer if she doesn't know it with fact.
Yeah, for sure.
It just won't come out. So you always know you are armed and provided with the information for you to move forward under the same steam that she moves with in that sense. And yeah, exactly. I guarantee you she's felt it at some point as a woman coming up in high level business throughout the last multiple years. I guarantee you she's had to deal with some shit. Yeah. But it's fucking hardened her into this like earn it and like precise facts of the woman that she is now. Yeah,
that's sick. I love that. Hey,
yeah, and she's. I hope. I have no doubt one day you will end up meeting her. And again, such a lovely, like, gentle woman. Yeah, but like 100%, she's on her shit constantly. Man. Yeah, she knows her facts. Yeah,
which is sick. I love that so much.
Same, man, and love it.
Yeah, perfect.
Go on, what you got? What you got?
All right, my last one, which is maybe a little bit of a weird one.
I got a weird one to finish too.
Yeah, sick. My last one is Rob Dyrdek. Skateboarder, host of the 10,000 episodes of ridiculousness that
how many episodes I did?
Dude, so I'm going to Google real quick how many episodes.
Oh, yeah, we have a laptop here. I did have notes. That's why I had my phone out.
Not to take selfies, Casey.
Casey. But it died. So it didn't die. It went out on me. So I just had to freeball that.
There's 1,008 episodes of ridiculousness.
Yeah, right.
That's a couple.
Weird number to stop on. What's that?
They haven't stopped.
Division?
He's still shooting them. I believe he's the last, because he's kind of he was podcasting for a bit. He's kind of taken a break from it. The last thing that I heard him talking about was like he had planned to shoot like 300 episodes in the following like year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Which is hectic.
Imagine being that consistent. But like that's consistency is everything. That's how you make it. Also, real quick, I will touch at a different point. I will get Bella's actual credentials and bring them back at because it's impressive. I've heard them before. It is incredibly impressive. Yeah,
I love that. So yeah, Rob Dyrdek is an interesting one for me because I feel like my transition in life has almost followed his a little bit, where when I was a teenager and he was a professional skateboarder and I used to watch Robin Big, which was, I don't know if it's his first TV show, but one of his earlier TV shows. Used to watch Robin Big.
First one I've known him from.
Yeah. Used to watch Robin Big, used to watch Fantasy Factory, just enjoyed him as a skateboarder being a teenager.
Yep.
And there's been this interesting transition as he's kind of retired from skateboarding and become just like this business motherfucker. And I feel like my life has kind of followed a similar progression, just with the things that I'm interested in, where I still now very much enjoy him as a person, but for very different reasons. Like I'm pretty uninterested in skateboarding now.
Yep. Impressive. Can't do it. So I have a disconnect from it for that reason exactly.
Yeah. That like I don't have anything against skateboarding, but I'm relatively uninterested in skateboarding as a whole. Like we might have it on the TV in the background at work occasionally, but like that's probably about the extent of my watching skateboarding.
Wasn't there on skateboarding? Wasn't there a 14-year-old girl that just won gold in the vert for skateboard?
Yeah, I believe
she fucking sent it.
Yeah, is that I can't remember her name.
Real brief. Sorry, I should have brought this off.
She is also a Monster Army athlete, and she wears a pink helmet.
Yeah.
She rides at Level Up. She's local.
She is nuts.
Yeah,
dude.
She's real good. Anyway, also all of that information could be wrong. I have no idea.
Where's Jamie?
Yeah,
fact check.
Jamie, pull that up. Anyway, so yeah, I guess just like the progression of what I've been interested in my life, where he, and like I said, he's kind of pulled back from podcasting a little bit. I was kind of under the impression that he was revamping the podcast and coming back out, so that may happen at some stage. But I really enjoyed his podcast. It was like very, very mindset orientated and very like. He talked about like how he discovered that he didn't actually enjoy running businesses or companies, but he loved creating companies. So he basically, I'm mind blanking on the name of it now, but he basically had a company set up that creates companies.
That's dope.
So his whole thing is that he has like basically a 5-year plan of like get this company from like a concept like all the way through to, and he's building these companies for exit. So he's building the company to sell it.
Yep.
And in that 5-year period, he's like trying to sell them between 150 and 250 million dollars. And that's all he does for that 5 years. And of course, if you get $250 million at the end of it, you have more than enough money for the next 5 years to go, let's go again. Oh, again, I get tangled up.
Interesting, yeah.
Anyway,
it's 2 for you.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
That's. I don't think I've ever seen you
three,
stuff it
three
up.
and you're out.
God, we're in a mood tonight.
Um,
What I enjoy about Rob, and similar to Chris Courtney on this as well, is that I enjoy that. I guarantee you there were so many people in there upcoming that were like, they're just a skateboarder, they're just a BMXer, they're just this, they're just that. Motherfucker, they are just so much more.
Yeah.
Just because you like something. This is like a tattoo thing as well, right? Like, oh, they have tattoos, they must be a fucking bikie or a dropkick. Motherfucker, like, give me the name of the Stanford professor. Might not be Stanford.
Oh, Huberman.
Bam, there we go.
Boy, yadded up.
Man, and jacked as well, but also a fucking incredible mind.
Yeah.
Like, and then Rob's an incredible businessman. Chris, a mint business, clearly.
Yeah.
A good businessman doing his shit right? So, like, I enjoy this. They're tarnished with a brush because they like something different to the main, or they're good at something different to the main. I guarantee there's heaps of other like action sport athletes that go in this as well. But I love to see those people, be hella successful, because fuck you naysayers.
Yeah, 100%. And I enjoy that transition because I feel like it's something that a lot of athletes probably.
The monsters just came. We go. One day we'll learn.
Yeah, this is a mad burpee. I feel like it's probably something that a lot of professional athletes deal with, and I don't think it's always necessarily a smooth transition. I think a lot of them probably don't figure it out at all. But transitioning out of being a professional athlete into business, I feel like is such a cool and interesting thing, and that I hope that we can get Chris on soon, and we can talk to
Would love to
him about his kind of transition from being a pro BMX rider into like what he does now, and like that, how incredible that is.
Yeah.
Like I would fucking love to see every time he posts a story of like all the scooters going out, like of the like just his warehouse, like the roller door like packed, like the Oz Post van pulling up. There's just like a pile of stuff that they're shipping out.
Yeah, man.
I always message him. I'm like, I fucking love to see it, man.
Yeah, man. Mad proud when he posted up that he now owns the
building that the village is in. Yeah.
Fuck, well done, brother.
Yeah, I love that.
I guarantee you earned that shit.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something that like I've kind of come across recently, I guess, is like you wouldn't have it if you didn't earn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you like, just ticked up
real nice
ticked up to the eyeballs.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, like I fucking love to see that shit. So what was I saying about Rob? Oh, so he just like builds companies for exit basically. And like that, and like all of his real estate stuff, and like just investing in general, and he basically just has like this money machine set up now that all of his money, because he had like obviously selling these companies for like hundreds of millions of dollars, which baffles me. Like the hurdles you have to jump to get a business from like 0 to 1 million or even 0 to $100,000 is crazy. To get a business from like the ground to make $100,000, crazy.
100,000 hurdles, arguably. Like yeah.
So this whole concept of like, even millions is pretty absurd to me, but getting hundreds of millions of dollars, is unfathomable. I mean, probably to majority of people, and the fact that he can do that repeatedly is incredible to me. Like I admire that so much, and yeah, I get just the way that he has this money machine now. So he obviously has more fucking money than he will ever need. So he has obviously his expenses that go out, but the rest of his money just is in this machine that just continually makes more money, whether it's through property, whether it's through, I sold that business for $200 million. I'm going to invest $50 million into this new business and then sell that for $200 million again. And then like just keep repeating this process. That to me is like the goal. Is that like you just have the snowball gets big enough that like you're no longer pushing it. Basically, like it just keeps snowballing itself. Essentially,
momentum.
Yeah. Like it gets that momentum behind it. Where I love the idea of your money working for you, not you working for your money.
Something you and I say often.
Yeah, and that's like they're things that I, at a very small scale, but they're very much things that I'm trying to like introduce into my life now. Whether it be through like, you know, little bits of investing here and there, and like, you know, I've got a plan in place to, you know, move myself into the property market at some stage. But just even having those little like, even though they're just the first pieces of the puzzle, like putting those down feels so good, knowing what the big picture can end up being.
Mm-hmm.
And I draw a lot of inspiration from Rob in that sense of like, how many people were a professional skateboarder and then snapped themselves in half and then were like broke basically because they just had not they can no longer skateboard, which is unfortunately for a lot of especially action sports athletes, and I feel like skateboarding kind of fits the demographic a little bit, where they're like not necessarily very well educated, and like, do you know what I mean? Like I kind of can all fall apart very quickly if skateboarding gets taken away from you and that's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
The world can kind of come crumbling down around you. So
real quick, you mean that they're not educated on the sense of what could go wrong, not just not educated in general?
Well, I mean, like potentially in general, like that demographic of it's a lot of action sports, to be honest. It is like comes from.
Just want to make sure we're not singling anyone out for being uneducated.
Yeah. No, and like, you see it even in moto a lot. For example, like there will be kids that kind of, and I saw this growing up, like racing, that like kids getting pulled out of school at like 14, like 12 or 13, like to be homeschooled, but they're like half-assing the homeschooling and just like racing dirt bikes flat out, and then they turn pro in the first year, they fucking snap both their femurs, and then they can't fucking ride dirt bikes anymore, and they never really went to school, and they don't know how to do anything other than race a dirt bike, and now they can't do, like, that's not going to work as a job now. And now fucking what? Like, there's no...
You see a lot of everyone putting their eggs in the I'll be pro and it'll work out.
Yeah.
But like, after speaking to like Loopy and stuff like that, being a pro isn't earning you millions of dollars. You have to continue to market yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And like, fuck, I'm keen to get him on at some point too, because the information that he bestowed upon us that night fucking blew my mind in that sense. Yeah. Not having an exit plan to what you think is a good idea, wild.
Yeah. And I think a lot of athletes get stuck in that trap of not having, like, what is your exit plan? I don't know any specifics, but I believe that when Rob was, even when he was a skateboarder, he was still quite thrifty with business, where I believe, I don't know the whole story, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but I believe he was quite involved with, because he rode for Alien Workshop, like the skateboard brand. But he kind of like, in his professional career, kind of grew with that brand. That wasn't necessarily an established brand that brought him on and then he was king of the world. Like, it wasn't like today if you get signed by Nike, you know what I mean? It was very much like
they established with each other.
Kind of, yeah. So obviously working with these smaller brands, and I think the DC was very much in the same boat, where DC was kind of like kicking off as he kind of got involved with them. So what he would do with these companies is that he would, instead of being like, all right, I want, for round numbers, be like, on my pro deck sales, I want 10% of that revenue in my pocket or whatever. He would take 5%, but he wants 20% equity in the company.
Smart.
And I believe he did the same thing with like a few things, and then he launched his own truck company, and then like he did all these things where, from like a surface level, he just looked like this dude that was riding skateboards, but was from the ground level very involved in these business, and was like willing to make those short-term sacrifices of like, yes, for the next 5 years, I might get paid less money, but I have a stake in this company and I believe in this company. And then when he started doing his TV shows and stuff, he used that platform to then grow these businesses around him that he had equity in all of them.
So good.
And just all of that I love. I love everything about that. I love the business around it. I love how like thrifty that is to be like, well, I'm going to take less money, but I want stake in the company, and then I'm going to use my persona and my reach and like his contracts with MTV to just build in this sponsorship basically. Yeah, just fucking I love it.
I love the idea of lads that are taking stake in company as well. Because then it's no longer seen as this like it's I'm just getting paid by your success now grows that company. The grow of that company grows your pocket. You now are working in a different sense of it. It's such a smart idea. Ethan, good one for that.
Yeah, love that.
Fucking well done, brother. And you see it, loves it. And he's proud to push that too, man.
Yeah,
he's fucking for it. And again, love to see it. I enjoy seeing anyone get out and get after their craft. Regardless, it could be fucking origami. I'm a clap for you. Oh. Origami was probably a bad one because that's sick, man. That's some shit.
Yeah,
one day we'll do a live origami.
I can do a paper airplane, I reckon. That's not even origami. That's about the extent of my paper folding skills, though.
Sweet. Can't wait. Stay tuned for that. 1,000 likes origami lesson. Fuck, if no one better like this. I don't want to do that. No, that's sick, man.
Yeah.
I like that. And you can definitely see that in how you go as someone that is in close proxy with you consistently. This make your money work for you, stop working for your money.
And I guess from your perspective, I guess being like around me so much, you can probably see that influence a little bit, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it's good because it's something that I get to take from it as well. Like being that you are the people that you surround yourself with. So in the exact same thing, it's like that's something that I take from you as well. And we have good talks about it all the time, man, about how we can go with it and why we like in the venture of starting businesses together and stuff like that. Because we both have that, like, don't have to take don't have to fill the pockets now. We both have 9 to 5s that we run that we enjoy, like,
and that's kind of the beauty of it is that like with us launching the gymwear stuff with Sleeper, like we've got our initial buy-in for our first lot of stock, and neither of us all our bills are paid. Neither of us have any interest in pulling any money out of that.
No.
We just roll it back into the next lot of stock, and then like we develop some new products, and like I'm excited for that. It's obviously like the snowball's very small at the moment. The momentum is like it's slow to get started, which is the case with anything. Yeah, but
I enjoy that it's not rushed as well because we're not trying to drag stuff out of it.
Well, and we also don't have a time limit of like, well, we need to have this rolling by next quarter because we got fucking bills to pay. Like, it's chill. Like, we'll make sure the product's right. We'll bring it out when we're ready. We'll make sure that the marketing's right. We'll make sure that the branding's right. Like, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool. What was you had one more?
One more weird one. I wasn't going to bring this one up, and then I thought I should because I had a conversation with a lad at the village that made me think about it. So growing up, as you know, definitely not touching on it, but wasn't always surrounded with the most positive role models.
Yeah.
It wasn't people like looking up to be like, I want to be like that person. I was surrounded with people that they were what I didn't want to be. Yep. They were my examples of what not to do.
Yeah.
And this is what consequence looks like walking among you, essentially. And sometimes they are a distant person. Sometimes, in my case, lovely case, they are your family, a direct relative, right?
Yeah.
And I see it quite a bit with the people that we hang around. That you surround yourself with these people. Sometimes you have to look at these people and be like, maybe I don't want to be like that. If you are only the 5 people you're around, and one of them is someone that is doing that doesn't share these same goals and drives to do these things, they're potentially the person holding you back from doing your stuff as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And so definitely I wanted to bring up a what not, or like I had examples of what not to be rather than like goals to get. And sometimes they are hard people to cut out. Sometimes they're people that are super close to you, and that and I'm sure that you like when I say that, you can think of people as well that that definitely come to mind. Actually, I've heard a story of one. I don't want to bring up names or anything like that, but similar to that one, I had someone that was a best friend.
Yeah.
That was the thing, the reason that I was being held down in so many things. And I think it's important to be self-aware for the people that are around you, who is bringing you up, and who's holding you down. Because it's very easy to get lost in but they're my friend, I like them. Surely they wouldn't do that to me.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're good for you though. Absolutely
not. Yeah. And it's just you need to do a self-evaluation about where do you want to go, how do you want to get there. And if you're envisioning yourself going somewhere and you can't see all of the people around you being at that level or around that level, they're the wrong people.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't mean you have to just tell them to fuck off completely and cut them out.
Yeah, I think you can keep people kind of at an arm's distance, you know what I mean? Where you don't... I definitely have people in my life that, like... I'm fortunate enough that I didn't have any family that I was, like, close with anyway that were, like really negative influences that I, like... had to, because I have a lot of people in my life that I know that have grappled with having like really close family that are, you know, like damaging people. Where I was fortunate enough to not really find myself in that situation, but there's definitely still people in my life that I keep at an arm's distance because I know, I like them, I get along with them when they're around, that kind of thing, but I know that like if I'm talking to them about the stuff that we talk about, you know, with like, you know, my plans to go into real estate or my plans in business, or like they're the people that are going to be like, oh, you fucking dream, like, as you know, we're not cut from that cloth kind of people. And yeah, it can definitely be super damaging. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough that I haven't had anyone super close to me kind of be in that scenario, but like, yeah, I definitely have had.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to cut those people off. If they're damaging enough that you fully need to cut them off, that can be really hard. But I guess there's a bit of there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like if I definitely have people in my life that I kind of keep at an arm's distance.
Yeah. Just going to preference in case they ever listen. I'm not talking about my brothers here. Love both my brothers. Super dependable lads. Very loose, sometimes morally unwound, but very dependable, good lads in that sense. But yeah, no, I agree very much on you. Mine had to be a complete cut, like absolutely gone, fake your death, out of here type thing. Yeah. Because all they seen your success was how it benefits them.
Yeah.
No matter if your success is $50 or $50,000, it'll be something that they can take from you.
Yeah.
And for years, I always thought this person was there helping, guiding, doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And they were the absolute opposite of it. Yeah, and you're right. It can be super hard and uncomfortable to cut them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just I hear it. Weirdly, it's something that I tune into a lot when I hear people talk about like their friends or what did you do on the weekend? I went and did this, blah blah blah, or like this person done this thing. Like everyone's got that friend that gets a bit drunk and does silly things and shit. Like that's you, bud. If they fuck up, that you are now associated with that.
Yeah, for sure.
When you, as someone that does like background checks at work and stuff like that, like we had to do one a bit ago, like who's got a criminal record and stuff. If your criminal record is that you and your mates went out being fuckwits and you have a friend that likes to fight people because they think they're a cool person, that then comes back to you. Sorry, I was just cracking my knuckles then. But that shit comes back to you, and like, if you have 4 friends that you're like, yeah, let's go, let's do business, let's do this, let's do that, and then you have your one friend that's fucking dragging you down. Sorry, bro, you got to pull them back. Hey, like it's just self-evaluation of what is around you is fucking monumental. It's hard, but it's real hard.
Yeah,
as Saying from you're the problem to now I've got to look in at everything and then take stock of what's building me up.
Yeah. Well, because if you allow those people to be around you and you allow them to influence you, again, that's loud.
Sorry, man.
You're the problem in that situation. If you're letting those people affect your life and affect your trajectory, that's a you problem. You're the only one that can do anything about that. You're not going to change them. And I think the thing that it makes it hard, I was going to say particularly with friends, but I guess I don't think that's maybe any easier with family. But for me personally, I've kind of only really had to, I do this with like friends, but you definitely get like, you're going to get pushback, you know what I mean? From especially that friend that like likes to party a little bit much or whatever, they're going to hit you with the like, oh, you changed, or the old you would have, or like, I get, yeah, like you're going to get that resistance, and they're not going to understand. And that's kind of why you need to move on, because they don't understand where you're going. And they're going to say you've changed, but it's only because they don't know how to say you've grown.
Very good. Very good.
So, and they're not going to grow with you. Those people are not going to grow with you. And if you're legitimately trying to move forward in your life, it's like we talked about last episode. I know we keep referencing back to it.
Last episode slapped.
Yeah. It's almost like this is episode 3.5.
Yeah.
But how we were talking, you end up on this ladder somewhere. There's motherfuckers trying to jump off the ladder.
Yeah.
They're diving off and they're trying to take you with them. So you don't want to hang out with those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like they're only going to do damage. And yeah, they might be fun to be around. And yeah, it might always be loose and it might be fucking a laugh and it might be all these things. But seriously, like if you're looking at yourself seriously and you want to move forward in your life, if you can't see those people sitting at a table with you when you've made it, whatever that is to you, whatever that vision is, because everyone has a vision. If you don't have a vision, you should
get one. Episode 1, planning.
Also, read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book recently. He talks about this a lot. Very good. Would recommend if you're looking for a book to read. He talks a lot about having a vision and how the more you kind of progress towards that vision, the more in focus it becomes. And as it becomes more in focus, as any image can, it might be a little bit different than what you thought.
Yeah.
Because you get more detail and you get more context. But if you, whatever that vision is that you have for yourself, if you can't see these people there with you, behaving in the way that you want to behave and doing the things that you want to do, if you can't see those people with you, you have to leave them behind. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to stay back with them. It's
a very good wording, the behave how you want to behave, because that's a big thing as well. To think, and it can sound weird if you associate it with like the characteristics of how we like to conform or anything like that, to behave how you want them to behave. No, you want people to behave. I want you to behave like you are going to fucking be successful.
Yeah.
Because that's how I want to fucking behave.
Yeah.
And at my table, I say you there with me.
Yeah,
so it's the same shit. I need you to do that.
Yeah.
So that way you and I can go there.
Yeah.
Because I want you to go there. I want to fucking go there.
But
it's the same thing.
If I start fucking like partying too much, and not that I party at all, but like if I start partying too much and, not fucking sticking to my word or not doing shit that I said I'm going to do, or like
start slipping.
Yeah. Like all of these things, or like, start blaming other people for problems in my life or doing any of this shit, that doesn't align with anything that you want in your life. Like that would, how are we going to progress together? Or like that's not a person that you would want to go into business with, or like it's all those discipline things of like, you don't want to go into business with someone who is playing video games all night and then showing up to work at fucking midday and then fucking off at 2 and then being like, oh, we show up whenever we want, we're running a business, and then fucking like coked out of their mind and fucking like just doing dumb shit and like making wrong, like bad decisions and like writing off cars and fucking just being a mess. They're not motherfuckers you want to do business with. Like they're not the people you want to be around.
Yeah.
And whether business is your goal or not is regardless.
But this applies to just general
anything.
happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or, you know, even people that, like, a big one for me is like, and I can be guilty of it myself. You've been around me. I don't mind a bit of a complaint. But
really? Never heard it.
But I feel like there's levels to that as well. Is that like, I'll whinge about my arms fucking hurting, or like, but I'm not going to whinge about me literally today.
Multiple times today.
Whinge about my arms hurting because we raced go-karts earlier. But I'm not going to whinge about how like something's unfair, or, you know, I don't have the things I want in my life because of someone else, or because, you know, I've been wronged by the system, or like do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want those people around you that like are pointing fingers, blaming and doing that kind of shit, I guess. Like, they're just not the people you want to be around.
I think a good metric for two things here. One, if they're probably someone you on your next self-evaluation, and you don't have to do it every 5 minutes. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit. Especially sometimes it takes a little bit for people to show their true colours as well. But a good metric for the self-evaluation and the idea that you want, is it a good idea, is if people are like, oh, that's dumb, why would you do that? That's silly, that's not going to work. Yep, sweet. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be a good idea. Yep. The more people that say no, the better it is. How many motherfuckers do we like, why do we want all the stuff to be on the internet? The robots are going to kill us. The phones will take over the world. Why would you shop on Amazon? All this shit. Electric cars? What the fuck? See, so like all these ideas, I know that they're just massive examples for it, but like, again, how many people do you think wrote Rob off and was like, that's a dumb idea, just skate, bro. Like, just do that.
Why would you take less money?
Yeah, exactly. See, so these are metrics that you should look at to be, is this person valuable?
Yeah. It's all crazy until it works.
Yeah, exactly. Very much so, man. And yeah, that's definitely something that I take stock off regularly, and I take that in people, and you can talk to, for me, if I'm talking to someone about stuff and I'm like, oh, this is a business idea, and they're like, that's silly, cool. I'm not gonna shut you down. But the information from here on out will be incredibly limited. Yeah, 100%. Because you're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
And you will get those people, and that doesn't mean like, I feel like for us, not that we're necessarily anyone that we ride with, but I feel like that's the environment that we kind of interact with people the most often outside of work, is like at the skate park or whatever. Is that like, yeah, if you bring up something like that to someone, they're kind of like, oh, like, what have you been doing? Like, whatever. And you'd be like, oh, I'm working on this thing. And they're like, oh, why? And you're just kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like, the conversation kind of ends there. It's like, we go back to like, just been like working or whatever. Like,
yeah. Exactly. It's, naysayers are an interesting one. Hey? Yeah. And you sort of need them. You need them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, if everyone was like, yeah, it's a great idea, they'd probably have thought of it first. You need people on runs underneath you. You need people to say no. Yeah. They're probably the people who are going to buy your product too, but yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely think a self-evaluation out of that of who am I looking up to and who do I not want to be? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because it changes. I guarantee you, 3 years ago, your list would have been much different.
Yeah.
Probably all 3 people on your list would have been different.
3 years ago, I wouldn't have had probably any of those people on my list. Even though Rob was someone that I always looked up to as a skateboarder, it's only been in the last couple of years that I've kind of rediscovered him in this new form. I think my list would have been very different.
Mine would have been different,
and it would probably be different again in another 3 years. Would
love to do a year run back on this and see where we sit on it.
Yeah.
But mine would also be Goldie would still be on there.
I could also probably pick 100 other people, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to, I guess, be exposed to those. And I think that's one of the superpowers of social media is for all the negatives. I I try to quite often have like an audit of the people that I'm following on social media. And like when I see a post, I'm like, is this a net positive or is it a net negative?
Yep.
Like, is this something that is just taken away from my existence? It's going to make me like, just for example, because it's definitely something that like social media can do. Like, is this a post that's going to make me like be jealous of someone else's like probably fake success or like those kind of things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or am I following people like Huberman that are genuinely there to teach me things and be like, teach me how to be a better human?
Yeah.
Or I don't have another immediate example off the top of my head. Even Rob, it's like I love when I see Rob pop up in my Instagram feed. I'm like, I know I'm going to get value out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like, is it mindless, just like brain lollies? Am I just getting like cheaper dopamine hits from this, or am I genuinely like, because like I'm not like never the person to say like, oh, I don't fucking scroll on social media, because we all fucking do. We're all on it.
Yeah.
I love a good scroll hole. Sometimes to my own destruction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really try, especially the people that I follow, I try and make sure that those people are productive for my mindset, for my well-being, for everything. And I've unfollowed a lot of motherfuckers in the last couple of years just to try and even if it's people that you feel uncomfortable unfollowing because they might be an old friend, or you can mute them. You won't see their shit anymore.
Yeah, right.
You can mute people on Instagram. If it genuinely is someone that like you feel uncomfortable like unfollowing, just you go on the profile, you can mute them, you won't see their posts.
Yep.
They won't see that you've done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just having as much of that, because we get so bombarded with information now that like as much of that can be a positive, I feel like the better.
I love that we have coined the term brain lollies. Because as soon as you started talking about it, I was like, it's brain lollies. That's all it is. One day we'll make a shirt.
For context, this was a conversation that we had on my Bucks party in the car. I guess the reference to brain lollies is kind of talking about cheap dopamine, that things that aren't genuinely like increasing your happiness. It's like short term. Yeah. Like you can have a proper meal and it'll be nutritious and it'll be good for you and it'll fill you up. Or you can have lollies and it'll feel real good for 5 minutes and then you'll feel gross.
And if you fucking crash.
And if you keep having handfuls of them, you'll just feel worse and worse and worse. And there's a lot of things that can do that for me. I have to be super careful with video games. That's a big one for me. I can go out of like and not that I play video games a lot anymore. But that was definitely something when I was younger that like I could leave a session of like playing games feeling worse than I went into it because I just depleted whatever fucking reservoir my brain had of feeling good. And yeah, it's just like eating handfuls of fucking lollies. You're going to feel gross afterwards. And obviously you can do that with actual food and actual lollies, or you can do that for your brain, and you can put good things in that make you feel good and productive and
sustainable. Yeah.
Or you can have brain lollies.
I enjoyed that. We coined that at the point of finding a common ground between, like associating it with the people that were all in the car. So of like having it be dietary, but also like mindful at the same time. And we got I love the term brain lollies, man. I would happily one day we'll make a brain lolly shirt. On the self-evaluation, I have a quote because I know that you're a quote guy.
Love quotes.
Yeah.
Love the
so
quotes.
Especially when it comes to like those close friends, family that you need to self-evaluate on. That not everybody that fights you is your enemy, and that not everybody that helps you is your friend.
I love that. That's so good.
It's definitely something that I love to recite back.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, on that note,
how long?
We are at an hour and a half.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean it'll be a little bit shorter once we cut out us crapping around at the beginning. But all right, well that's a wrap on this episode of the Democast. If you found this at all useful or valuable, or you know someone who you think would, give us a share. We appreciate it. DMs are always open. We've appreciated all of the messages that we've been getting so far, all been super positive.
Yeah.
And we love it. Until next time, peace.